is KABZ Little Rock.
Arkansas, an outdoor paradise. People travel hundreds of miles to enjoy what, well, some of us take for granted. We are called the natural state without reason, with an abundance of rivers, lakes, and streams loaded with adventure. Scenic views that will take your breath away. Biking trails and back roads just begging to be discovered. Sit back and relax as Ray Tucker and longtime journalist Brian Hendricks explore our magnificent state with this week's edition of Ray Tucker's Arkansas Outdoors. Brought to you by Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
All right, you guys through with the photo op over there?
Yeah, just in time.
Oh, wow, this weather is just fantastic. This is what Arkansas is all about. I don't know that I've seen the Bradford pears bloom this early and jump out there, but anyway, time to get out and enjoy the state of Arkansas, Brian.
It is, 2 weeks ago, I think it was, I told you spring was over and you got all upset about it, but I wasn't lying, was I?
Well, spring's not over yet. We're just getting into spring.
I'm sorry, winter was over. That's right.
Well, winter, okay. I hope it is, because I've already landscaped my back patio. And my rule of thumb normally is don't plant before the Masters weekend. And I've already done it, so what the heck. All right, let's talk to Mike Mills, who is one of the great places in the state of Arkansas, Buffalo Outdoor Center in Ponca. I got this, Mike. I got this introduction off the line here. We're lodging and adventure meet the beautiful wilderness. I can't read tonight.
You want me to do it?
I can't read my own writing. That's the problem here. Of the Upper Buffalo River, which is a splendid place. Mike, how are you?
I just keep getting better, man.
Well,
I live and work in Ponca.
The first time I ever floated to Buffalo was from Ponca to Pruitt, and it was an adventure. I thought I was in a movie somewhere.
There's that one rock garden above Kyle's Landing there that has claimed many a person's virtue. Let's just put it that way.
It's called Gray Rock.
Yeah. Mike, I've gone up there about this time every year when the water's running good. If you go up to Kyle's and go upstream about, 400 or 500 yards, there's one good strainer up there, and I would set up my camera and stay all day and just video people flipping over.
Yeah.
And it was, I've got some classic footage.
Yeah, that doesn't happen as often. People are in better canoes. They're actually learning how to canoe a little bit better. And the strainer has changed.
Is it gone now?
It's still there. It's just the current has changed the way it runs at it, and so it no longer presents the threat that it used to present.
Mike,
that's a river flood that did that.
Your place is one of the fabulous places in Arkansas to go. Tell folks about it.
Well, Buffalo Outdoor Center started off just as a canoe rental, but I recognized when I established it in 1976 that it was more than just going to be a canoe rental, and so thus the name Buffalo Outdoor Center. Well, now it's funny. What I didn't recognize is it would take me 35 years to build what I dreamed. And now it has cabins, a zip line canopy tour, a downhill mountain bike course. Of course, we still rent canoes, kayaks, and rafts during canoe season, and so it finally has become everything that I dreamed about 35. Well, actually, right now it's 45 years ago.
You were talking about establishing your place in 76, and the Buffalo National River was designated in 72, so you have been there for almost all of that history of at least...
Well, if you remember, there was a landowner injunction, so the Buffalo National River didn't really function until July of 76.
76.
The same year I started my business in basically spring of 76.
And having been such a big, you've been there for all of it. How is it different now than it was then? How has the ethic of the river user changed? How's the river itself changed?
Of course, the river, every time it floods, and back in November, we had the second highest flood since I've been watching the river for 50 years. And it changes the riverbed. You could float from Ponca to Kyles. Now it's Steel Creek to Kyles, but the river spread out a gravel bar just below, about a quarter mile below the Ponca Bridge, to where it's not navigable in a canoe.
Really?
And so the river constantly changes, and the next flood will change again, and all that kind of stuff. It meanders, and primarily it's not going to move a bluff.
Right.
So it can only move the land and the gravel across from the bluffs. Well, it doesn't have a tendency to do that. In this case, the bluff actually funneled the water and let it spread out. So the river's going to constantly change with every rain.
Wasn't it in 2014, where that whole side of that bluff just downstream from Steel Creek just cleaved right off and fell down to the riverbank?
Well, once again, nature at work. I don't know if it was vibration from a earthquake over in East Arkansas, or but something gave, and it left a pretty good open scar slide that you can still see, and some of the rocks in the river, you can tell. There's a red layer of rocks that's up about 100 feet high or so in that area, and there's some of that red rock in the river.
If you're just tuning in, we're visiting with Mike Mills, Buffalo Outdoor Center up in Ponca, up in North Arkansas. You all offer a little bit of something for everybody now, not just canoeing and kayaking.
Well, lodging. We have log cabins with real fireplaces, wood fireplaces, and many of them have hot tubs or jacuzzis. Several of them are up on top of the mountain with a porch view of the river valley itself, and we offer several different types. We have a lodge that will actually sleep up to 30 people. We have another lodge that sleeps 20. We have cabins that are for 6, 4, and 2. We have a lot of romance that happens there. It's a natural setting and isolated setting, and believe it or not, during COVID, we boomed because people wanting to get out of the house didn't want to go to a hotel room. They wanted a cabin in the middle of nowhere.
Besides, I guess you and Tim Ernst, two of the major influences on developing, and developing is not really the right word, but bringing attention and awareness to the buffalo and making it popular. How does it feel to be such a big part of that history there?
Well, I've been called a legend, and I've been called a canoe operator, and I've been called a lot of things. Here's what I tell kids when I have the opportunity: follow your passion. When I was in college, I became a canoeist, and it became my passion. I followed my passion and ended up founding an operation on the Buffalo River, which my father told me I wasn't going to succeed at. What he didn't understand is that just provided me more motivation, and Buffalo Outdoor Center became a viable family-owned resort in Arkansas, and eventually became one of the icons of family resorts, along with Gaston's and Mountain Harbor and places like that.
Mike, we're going to take a break here. We'll be back with you in a couple of minutes, okay?
I'll be here.
All right, you're listening to Ray Tucker's Arkansas Outdoors, coming to you live from our Hondo North Little Rock studios. Back after this. The name says it all, and you'll find Honda's best models at Honda of North Little Rock, as they're your one-stop destination for quality motorcycles, ATVs, and side-by-sides. If you have a passion for adventure, head on over to Honda of North Little Rock, as they cater to both thrill seekers and outdoor enthusiasts. Whether you're hitting the trails, cruising the roads, or exploring rugged terrain, we'll find the perfect ride for you. Nothing matches Honda's power, reliability, and innovation. Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
The king of Arkansas sports talk, Randy Rainwater for Bet Saracen.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sports book in America. That's because our Kansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today and look for my Double R prop bet specials. I pick 'em, you win 'em.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Introducing Club 52 from Arkansas State Parks, a club that's fun, full of adventure, and open to anyone. Just pick up a free passport at any state park visitor center and start exploring. With every state park you visit, you get a stamp. When you get all 52 stamps, you're in the club, and you get some pretty cool rewards along the way. So grab your passport and start exploring. Club 52 from Arkansas State Parks. Get out to get in.
Brought to you by this station and the Arkansas Broadcasters Association.
I found a fountain of youth down there at QC Kinetics.
That's Henry Hinton, feeling like his young, active self again after treatments at QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative medicine.
I still have trouble walking down steps as I get older. I've had one treatment so far, and I can already tell a difference in my knee.
And that treatment at QC Kinetics used Henry's own natural healing properties, concentrated and placed right at the source of the pain. So Henry and patients just like him will enjoy long-term relief without surgery or downtime.
My knee is not hurting. I remember I was walking down some steps yesterday, and I thought, wow, this is not hurting when I walk down steps. I'm all in on it. I'm all in on QC Kinetics.
It's time to wind back the clock to days without constant joint pain. Start with a call to QC Kinetics today.
Call QC Kinetics, 501-222-8440. That's 501-222-8440. 501-222-8440.
Arkansas. Becoming a member of Alcoa Community Federal Credit Union just got easier and a whole lot more exciting. If you live, work, worship, or go to school in 15 central Arkansas counties, you're eligible to join the credit union that puts you first. This summer, an auto loan deal is coming around so good, I can't even say the rate just yet, but trust me, it's big. So if you've been dreaming about a new ride, now's the time to get ready. Check out eligibility and see if you are in one of these counties at alcoacommunityfcu.org. Alcoa Community Federal Credit Union.
It's a tough time. Injured, and it was not your fault. Hurts in the pocketbook, too. Who do you turn to? Don't call a lawyer and find they're out of state or talk with someone at a call center. Call us at the Brad Hendricks Law Firm and talk to a real Arkansas lawyer directly. And remember, the only place that success comes before work is in the dictionary. We'll work hard for you. Have for over 30 years. The Brad Hendricks Law Firm. Tradition, reputation, results.
When was the last time you went exploring in Arkansas? More importantly, when was the last time you went exploring the natural state on a Honda from Honda of North Little Rock? There are hundreds of miles of trails and back roads to discover. So if you have a passion for adventure, we have just the perfect Honda for you. Our new showroom is just that, as we show off Honda's best models of ATVs, motorcycles, and side-by-sides. We'll find you the perfect ride. Stop in today at Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
And we're back with Ray Tucker's Arkansas Outdoors, and we're talking to a man that might be identifiable as Mr. Outdoors in Arkansas in a lot of ways, especially up in the Buffalo River area. This is Mike Mills, owner of Buffalo Outdoor Center, and we're talking about changes in the river. We're talking about the river itself. What have you seen happen over the years as far as use and appreciation and just all the things that come with the evolution of a resource like that?
Well, believe it or not, one of the greatest changes is paved roads. Back in the early 70s when I first got in business, it was all dirt roads to Ponca. It was dirt roads to almost every access on the Buffalo River. And so the paving of highways has made a huge difference in the amount of traffic that comes to the Buffalo River. The second thing, of course, would be the National Park Service itself. They didn't really function until 76, and really I would tell you it was more like 78 or 9 before they started functioning as the National Park Service at the Buffalo National River. And, they instigated different programs. At first, back before the Park Service, we cleaned up the gravel bars and trash and hauled it off ourselves. Then the Park Service came in and put in trash cans and that kind of stuff, and they took responsibility. Then they decided they didn't want to do that and wanted to do a, you pack it in, you pack it out, and gave us mesh trash bags for the cans in the canoe and all that kind of stuff. And that seems to be working fairly well. The river is probably cleaner right now than it has ever been. And that's part of the ethics of the changing of society. Back in the late 60s, early 70s, you could watch somebody just throw a beer can out of a canoe into the river.
Yeah. And
seen that before, yes.
The other thing, and probably the most significant thing in populating the river, is the Internet. When the Internet came along in the mid-'90s, it didn't really take over until 2000 or so, but social media, Facebook, Instagram, those type of programs, people started posting pictures of Whitaker Point, of the Goat Trail, of Roark Bluff, of scenic places on the Buffalo, and other people would see those and say, I want to go there. The traffic on the river itself, believe it or not, has plateaued in the mid to late 80s. In fact, one of the number one years on record is 1977. That's the year after National Geographic came out. And yeah, if you draw a chart, it's not a straight line plateau. It's up and down, up and down, up and down. But what controls that is the weather.
Right.
If it's a long canoe season, so if it keeps raining into June and even into July, more people come canoe the river. The scenic part being the upper river, and it's only floatable when you got a certain water level. And so if you have a good rainy end of spring, first of summer, you're going to have more visitors than you did the year, like last year, where it quit Memorial Day weekend. So often things aren't as they appear. When you have a real high visitation, look at what the weather did that year.
Mm-hmm.
Mike, if you would talk about how folks can book a room and come up and spend time with you guys.
Well, that's really easy. We were very fortunate many, many years ago to get BuffaloRiver.com. And so if you can remember the name Buffalo River, just add .com to it, and it'll take you to our website, and it is complete. You can book things. You can book canoes, cabins, downhill mountain bike rental, all kinds of things at that site. It'll give you the water levels, suggestions on. There's a video that I made on how not to turn over a canoe. And Ray could probably review that.
Hey, let me tell you what, Brian knows how to turn a canoe over with the best of them.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's true.
Once again, things have changed. I can, in less than 60 seconds, I can teach you how not to turn over.
All right, we got about 60 seconds left.
Number one is don't run into a stub in the middle of into the creek.
Well, the number one thing is kneel. Put your center of gravity lower in the canoe, because that's what turns you over. When you have a high center of gravity, you're going to turn over. And if you don't believe that, stand up.
I do that all the time.
So the lower you sit in the canoe, the harder it is to turn over. In fact, I tell people at the riverbank, I said, if, Jeremiah Johnson's in the back of your canoe and puts you in trouble, sit right on the bottom of the canoe. And in fact, if you think about it, have you ever seen an Indian dugout with seats?
Nope.
No.
I have not.
And that's because they understood the principle of high and low center of gravity.
Mike Mills, we appreciate you taking time to join us. You got one of the great places in Arkansas. I'll talk.
My pleasure.
We lost our good friend Wayne Woods. I'll talk to you here real soon. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. Back with Carlton Wing. Talk fishing. The name says it all, and you'll find Honda's best models at Honda of North Little Rock, as they're your one-stop destination for quality motorcycles, ATVs, and side-by-sides. If you have a passion for adventure, head on over to Honda of North Little Rock, as they cater to both thrill seekers and outdoor enthusiasts. Whether you're hitting the trails, cruising the roads, or exploring rugged terrain, we'll find the perfect ride for you. Nothing matches Honda's power, reliability, and innovation. Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
This is Anthony Lucas, here to tell you about my favorite spot in Little Rock, Corky's. Sure, Corky's may look all ribs and barbecue on the outside, but did you know Corky's was also nominated for Central Arkansas's best catfish? And don't get me started on their chicken, shrimp, and nachos.
Those Big Joe burgers, Anthony.
Big Joe, when did you get here?
You really stealing my thunder, Anthony. Corky's is my place.
No way you love Corky's like me, Joe.
Talk to me when you have your own menu item, Lucas.
Corky's ribs and barbecue.
March Mania is in full swing at Gwatney Buick GMC, and their biggest sale of the year is in a full court press. 2024 GMC Canyons discounted $5,000 off MSRP. 2025 Sierra 3/4 ton diesel Denali with $8,000 off MSRP. Call 501-945-4444. Power forward with Buick. 2025 Enclave or 2024 Envision with $5,000 discounted off MSRP. Score even bigger on 2025 Encore with an unheard of $6,000 off MSRP. New Hummers at 0%. The competition's crying foul because Gwatney Buick GMC will not be beat during March Mania. 501-945-4444. Gwatney Buick GMC. 5700 Landers Road in North Little Rock. GwatneyBuickGMC.com. GMC. We are professional grade. Some vehicles require qualifying trade-in. All offers with approved credit. Stock numbers 30810, 30614, 30318, 30605, 30465.
When was the last time you went exploring in Arkansas? More importantly, when was the last time you went exploring the natural state on a Honda from Honda of North Little Rock? There are hundreds of miles of trails and back roads to discover. So if you have a passion for adventure, we have just the perfect Honda for you. Our new showroom is just that, as we show off Honda's best models of ATVs, motorcycles, and side-by-sides. We'll find you the perfect ride. Stop in today at Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
When you're out and about in the natural state, whether it's work or play, be sure to make W's Convenience Stores your one-stop shop. With 34 locations in Central Arkansas, they're easy to find. Headed to the lake or just taking in the beauty of Arkansas? Stop in at your nearest W's location. Their double blend of coffee is always hot and fresh. Snacks, W's has them. Want more than a snack? Many W's have hot delis. And don't forget the hot breakfast sandwiches. W's, where you gas it, grab it, and go.
It's Justin Acri. If you're dealing with back or neck pain, the Orthopedic and Spine Hospital at UAMS Health is here to help. Whether it's neurosurgery, orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, or pain management, their experts have you covered with the latest technology and minimally invasive techniques. They're focused on reducing your pain, improving mobility, and getting you back to doing what you love. Call 501-686-TOSH to set up an appointment today. That's 501-686-8674. The doctor will see you now.
The name says it all, and you'll find Honda's best models at Honda of North Little Rock, as they're your one-stop destination for quality motorcycles, ATVs, and side-by-sides. If you have a passion for adventure, head on over to Honda of North Little Rock, as they cater to both thrill seekers and outdoor enthusiasts. Whether you're hitting the trails, cruising the roads, or exploring rugged terrain, we'll find the perfect ride for you. Nothing matches Honda's power, reliability, and innovation. Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters. time to talk to Neil at Saracen Casino Resort. Neil, do I need to say anything more than the NCAA tournament?
Yes, and it starts tomorrow. You've got the first 4 games start tomorrow, so people are looking forward to that. But I think more people are more interested what's going to be happening in Providence, Rhode Island on Thursday when the Arkansas Razorbacks take on the Kansas Jayhawks, and the Jayhawks are a 4.5-point favorite with the over and under being 145. That's a matchup with the top 2 highest paid coaches in college basketball, if I'm not mistaken. So that's an interesting one.
So looking ahead, you look at all the SEC teams. Well, let's do this. The play-in games, what are the numbers on those tomorrow?
Well, you got St. Francis versus Alabama State. Alabama State favored by 4. Then you've got North Carolina and San Diego State. North Carolina is a 4.5-point favorite tomorrow night. Mount St. Mary's in America, that was suspended right now. There should be a line back out on it later on. And then the next night, on Wednesday night, you got Xavier versus Texas. Xavier is a 3-point favorite over Texas. 14 SEC teams in the tournament.
What I find intriguing is Arkansas State's women opened up against Connecticut, and the spread is off the charts.
Yep, and that's a tough draw for them to be in their very first NCAA tournament, and they play one of the storied programs in the UConn Huskies. They are a 44.5-point underdog in that game, and if you look at the UConn and when they're a number 1 or 2 seed, that's usually about where their lines are. So they've got a tall order, but it's exciting that they are in the tournament and they're playing one of the best.
And how do we download the app?
Go to BetSaracen.com on the web or from your phone. Just go to the App Store and type in BetSaracen, download the app, check out our welcome promo, and if you're an existing user, look at the banners. We got some exciting promos for tournament week.
And I know you the answer to this. What's Tennessee's spread?
Tennessee is 19.5, but it's not the biggest spread. You've got 2 games with a 28-point spread in the men's, both Florida and Houston, and their opponents against 1 versus 16.
Neil, always a pleasure. Appreciate it.
All right, have a good one.
All right, download the app, folks, BetSaracen.com.
And we are back with Ray Tucker's Arkansas Outdoors, and we've got a special guest in studio with us tonight, Carlton Wing.
He is special.
Hello.
Of North Little Rock. And a lot of folks know him as, are you Speaker Pro Tem?
Yes.
Of the Arkansas House of Representatives. He's also host of Arkansas's Great Outdoors TV show. And, Carlton and I, we like to mention this. I've known him since he was about 5 years old, and I was just a little bit older than that. And kept in touch all these years, but you got it going on with that TV show, and we had a.
Why does he look so much younger than you?
Because he lives he lives better than I do, I guess. We had an interesting time.
We did
Friday.
It was a lot of fun.
I'll let you tell everybody about this.
Well, we've got a segment that we're trying out for Arkansas's Great Outdoors, and we wanted to be able to have the viewers, anybody who wants to fish but they can't get out on the water, can fish online virtually. We called it the Online Big Bass Battle. And so it's an opportunity to be able to get online. We're in the boat. Brian and I were in the front of the boat. We had cameras behind. And so we brought in a couple of competitors, and they get to pick the lures that we fish with. And if we catch a fish with their lure, then they can win a prize. And then whoever gets the biggest fish of the day gets the grand prize. And so we were testing out the technology and kind of learning some things about, formatting and all that before we go full scale with it, although that is going to be in a show what we shot. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, that was pretty cool.
It was a lot of fun. And so we had this was a lake that we had been on the week before, and it tested out, and it was really good. Now, the conditions were tough on Friday during the day when Brian and I were out there. The wind was howling. We went into that cove, and the wind was coming straight up that cove. There was no respite from the wind at all. But we had an opportunity to catch a few fish there. Brian caught the big one for our grand champion of the day, and then after the show was over, we stayed and fished some more and shot some more video, and boy, did we lay into some good bass.
Wait, the picture in the paper you called, what was it, 8-pounder?
That was an 8.6.
Fishing off the bank?
Off the bank, yep.
Very first cast.
And I'm asked which reservoir that must have been.
It was
it was Egyptian Lake.
Egyptian Lake.
Somewhere between, as Bill Dance would say, Poinsett County and the western part of the river.
Y'all rode camels to get there, yeah. Okay.
Yes, that's right. Yes, but no, we had a good time. It was a 55-acre lake and no deeper than 6 or 7 feet at its deepest point. And the reason why we were on the bank was a storm blew through, and so we trailered the boat, got out, and then we saw that it wasn't really as bad, but until we decided to put the boat back in, we said, well, hey, let's just go grab a couple of rods here and go fish off the bank. And literally first cast out there, that 8-pounder just smashed it. And then the trick was Brian's yelling at me. He says, all right, what are you going to do with it now, big boy? Because we got it hooked, and then it's a fairly steep embankment to get down to the water. I was willing to go take a swim if I had to be able to reel that thing in, but I was able to find a foothold right there at the shoreline.
I'm sure there's video of that.
There is,
I don't think there was video
of that. We got photos of it. Brian got some good photos. Yeah.
But there was this thick laid-over grass on that steep slope, and there were all these holes down in there, so you couldn't see them. So, you were taking your life in your hands to either, go face plant into that water and get that fish, but he did. And it was within about 80 yards of where you caught a 10-pounder just a couple of days before.
Yeah, that's why for a 3-pounder I wouldn't.
Just so you'll know, if you're out there in a storm, he's a lightning rod.
Yes.
All right. I have to take that into account for our next production.
Speaking of that was the second closest I've ever come to falling out of a boat.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And I don't even know how it happened. Next thing I know, I'm going backwards and somehow managed to plant into the seat before I went backwards, head flipped out the back of the boat. It was pretty cool.
We would have had a camera on that one because I had the GoPro in the back of the boat.
I'd have paid for that one.
Yeah, I'd have gotten 1 million views on YouTube for that. Yeah.
So we did that, and so tell us about Arkansas's Great Outdoors.
Well, we've got it's been a great couple of years. We started this. We are in our 4th year of Arkansas's Great Outdoors, and we started off just here in the Little Rock market, but now we're in Little Rock, Fayetteville, Springfield, Missouri, Memphis, and Jonesboro, as well as nationally on the World Fishing Network. And so we're every week on our local stations. We've got everybody except for the extreme southern portion. So I'm working on getting Texarkana in there and Monroe, Louisiana, which would give us El Dorado. And so that way everybody in the state of Arkansas can see Arkansas's Great Outdoors. But it has grown, and we've been able to add some kind of unique elements to the show as well, one of which is my wife plays in the symphony, and she plays violin in the Arkansas Symphony Orchestra, and then we've brought her in for a couple of music videos, and so she played a little bluegrass number that we set to just the beauty of Arkansas's nature scenes. We did an ice fishing trip about a month ago up in Wisconsin, and she played Vivaldi's Winter out on a frozen lake with just unblemished snow across it, and that was absolutely stunning as well. So we're able to bring some music in to celebrate the nature that's all around us.
So you got your wife out there on the ice. You're a heck of a salesman.
That's right. Honey, how thick is it? Well, just keep going. We'll tell you. No, it was. We had tested out that lake. We had a great time. I tell you what, that ice fishing show, that was a lot of fun. We brought our Arkansas minnows up to Wisconsin and caught some Wisconsin fish with our Arkansas minnows. It's pretty cool.
They can't resist them.
No, they can't. Those things ship all over the country. You can overnight them via FedEx or UPS. And
coming from Anderson's down there, or what?
Well, yeah, Anderson's is one of them. We've got a lot of bait fish farmers that provide about 90 to 95% of all the farm raised bait in the country come out of 3 counties in Arkansas. It's quite a story. $400 million industry for the state.
Yeah, we got that. We got the tourism. It's kind of interesting that you're here with Mike Mills and we're talking about it. And you promote the state in a different way, in your way.
Yeah.
But you get to see so much of it and to do a lot of different things in like this tournament that you came up with. How do you think up something like that? What kind of what kind of caffeine and well, you don't do caffeine, but what
y'all know where he's doing really well if you know he doesn't do caffeine.
No, it's just being out there and talking to folks and hearing what people want to do. And in fact, what gave me the idea for the online Big Bass Battle was I was just out there on Facebook one day, and one of my buddies from the old BFLs here in Arkansas, he just decided to pop his webcam on while he was fishing the Arkansas River. And so he's just got that thing going while he's fishing. He's not even talking. He's just kind of fishing. And I'm sitting here watching this guy fish for about 45 minutes. And I find myself thinking, I wonder what would happen if he threw a spinnerbait right there off that log, And then I started wanting to make some selections for him. And that's kind of where I thought, hey, we could actually do this.
Back with more right after this. When was the last time you went exploring in Arkansas? More importantly, when was the last time you went exploring the natural state on a Honda from Honda of North Little Rock? There are hundreds of miles of trails and back roads to discover. So if you have a passion for adventure, we have just the perfect Honda for you. Our new showroom is just that, as we show off Honda's best models of ATVs, motorcycles, and side-by-sides. We'll find you the perfect ride. Stop in today at Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
The king of Arkansas sports talk, Randy Rainwater for Bet Saracen.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen, because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid, and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my Double R prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
It's a tough time. Injured, and it was not your fault. Hurts in the pocketbook, too. Who do you turn to? Don't call a lawyer and find they're out of state or talk with someone at a call center. Call us at the Brad Hendricks Law Firm and talk to a real Arkansas lawyer directly. And remember, the only place that success comes before work is in the dictionary. We'll work hard for you. Have for over 30 years. The Brad Hendricks Law Firm. Tradition, reputation, results.
When you're out and about in the natural state, whether it's work or play, be sure to make W's Convenience Stores your one-stop shop. With 34 locations in central Arkansas, they're easy to find. Headed to the lake or just taking in the beauty of Arkansas? Stop in at your nearest W's location. Their double blend of coffee is always hot and fresh. Snacks, W's has them. Want more than a snack? Many W's have hot delis. And don't forget the hot breakfast sandwiches. W's, where you gas it, grab it, and go.
Hey Razorback fans, it's Quinn Grovey. Check out the new location of Bell & Sword in Conway. Suits, shirts, vests, also polos with Arkansas logo gear from Johnny O and Peter Millar. A store within a store with Arkansas-made Martin Dingman shoes and leather goods. Fantastic service with a tailor-on staff to fit you perfectly. Go to the new location, Bell & Sword, 1011 Oak Street, Conway, or on Facebook and Instagram.
The name says it all, and you'll find Honda's best models at Honda of North Little Rock, as they're your one-stop destination for quality motorcycles, ATVs, and side-by-sides. If you have a passion for adventure, head on over to Honda of North Little Rock, as they cater to both thrill seekers and outdoor enthusiasts. Whether you're hitting the trails, cruising the roads, or exploring rugged terrain, we'll find the perfect ride for you. Nothing matches Honda's power, reliability, and innovation. Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters. It is mine and Brian's favorite time of the year.
Man, you can't beat. Tim Ernst once said this. He's been all.
Tell the guy on the horns to hold it down, would you?
That's what I'm talking about. He's Herb Alpert there needs to take it easy.
Well, you dated yourself.
Tim Ernst once said that he's been all over the world, really, photography. He's been to Colorado. He's been here and there, and says Arkansas does spring as well as anybody.
Yeah.
Maybe even better. And I agree with that. You got everything starting to bloom. Mm-hmm. And, Bradford pears, yellows and green, we're coming alive. And a great thing about what you do is you get to see all this and you get to package it in a lot of different ways. How do you come up with your show ideas and plan ahead and get everything going?
There's just something to be about being active and being out there and be up and doing. I mean, when you're out shooting one show, you're talking to people, and when you talk to those people, they start talking about things, and next thing you know, somebody says, "Hey, have you heard about that taxidermy place up in Damascus?
Yep,
they're like world class." And I said, "No, that sounds great." And so I give them a call, and then we go up there, did a fabulous show with them, just to see how a true craftsman really takes their work seriously and puts out genuine works of art, and that's a great thing. And then next thing you know, you're off to a state park, and we've got the state parks that we've heard of. There's of course Pinnacle Mountain, Pettigene, DeGray, Devil's Den, but then you go to some places that you might not be aware of that are just absolutely amazing. We just did in this last week's show, we featured Cane Creek State Park.
Yeah,
about halfway between Little Rock and the border, not too far out of Monticello. And an amazing lake out there adjoining the Bartholomew Bayou, the biggest bayou in the world. And
have you been to the Louisiana Purchase? I have. Where you go at that boardwalk and find that marker out on the rock out in the middle of that swamp?
Yeah, no, we haven't had that on the show yet. That we need to circle that one. And
that's
do that.
Between Brinkley and Marvel, isn't it?
This one, I don't remember where that is.
Louisiana Purchase. Yeah,
might be. Yeah.
If that's what it's called, but it's a headwater swamp, and it's one of the original survey markers for the Louisiana Purchase that they put there. And they did that thing with actual chain links, and it's very, very accurate. They redid the with GPS, and they found that they weren't off by more than a few inches.
Wow. That's cool.
And they may have said that because they didn't want to throw property records into total chaos. I'm going to ask you a really politically loaded question here. Is it DeGray Lake or Lake DeGray?
DeGray or DeGray.
Right. Which comes first, the lake or DeGray?
Yeah. Gosh, I've heard it both ways. I've heard it both.
I got into a really big argument with one of our editors at the paper one night over that. He's from down that way, and he says it's DeGray Lake, and that's it.
That's it.
So
yeah. Well, I love how we emphasize the D's.
DeGray, DeWitt,
DeWitt. Yep. D-Light. Yep.
We don't do that with Dumas, though.
See, I tell people all the time, it's DeWitt, it's not DeWitt.
That's right.
And it's Elaine, not Elaine.
That's right. Yeah.
No.
North Little Rock.
and Sherwood.
Sherwood. Yes, that's right. Yeah.
So, what's the one thing you haven't done, video-wise, concept-wise? One or two or three things that you'd really like to get in the can.
Wow. I'd love to get a good duck hunt in. I think I would love to be able to do that. I did take a big check mark off of my bucket list when we went to Wisconsin and did the ice fishing. I found that the ice fishing season in Arkansas is woefully short, and not been able to find one yet. But going up, I'd never ice fished before. That was cool.
Tell us all about it.
That was, I'd gotten to know some of the ice fishing guys up in the north because of their connections to our Arkansas bait fish farmers. And because a lot of that bait ends up north, whether it's up in the New England area or in the Wisconsin, Michigan, Dakotas area. And so we went, I actually for 3 years, I tried to get this trip, but the ice wasn't really good enough where we were going to be going in the southern part of Wisconsin. And but finally it was, I saw the forecast in early July that we were going to get colder than normal temperatures up north. And so I called David Robinson, who runs a wholesaler up there and buys a lot of our Arkansas minnows and sends them out to bait shops all over the upper Midwest. And I called him. He didn't even say, "Hello, Carlton," or "How are you doing?" The first thing he said was, "I've been thinking about you," because he knew with the weather coming, the weather temperatures dropping, that I was going to be calling. And we had some good ice, some strong ice. And so Lee and I, my wife Lee and I, went up there with our cameraman and got some great fishing in. caught walleye, caught perch, saw some old friends, our largemouth bass, in some lakes up there in
Was
Wisconsin.
this where you cut a big hole in the ice?
Yeah, you can get just a little hand crank, or you can attach one to a drill, and you just drill a hole about 8 inches wide, and you just boom. And what was really cool for me, I'm the luckiest man in the world because it was Valentine's Day. I am sitting in an ice hut with my wife on Valentine's Day. What says love and romance?
You romantic.
Yeah, I tell you what.
Sucker.
Yeah. But we had a great time catching fish there, and it was an absolute ball. And I'll tell you another thing that's interesting about the ice fishing is, we're used to, making casts and either feeling the retrieve, or maybe you've got a bobber on the water. What they have are tip-ups. And so you've got this little flag that you fold down, and it's just got a little thing holding it, and when a fish bites, it turns, and then the flag comes up. So you can put 3 tip-ups per angler, and so we had about 7 or 8 anglers out there, and so we had about 18 or so tip-ups all around. And so you're surveying the lake, and you're just looking for flags. And when a flag goes up, everybody say, flag up, and then boom, we start taking off, running to the flag to see what's bit. And sometimes it's small, sometimes it's big, and sometimes it got away and stole our minnow.
Strange thing up there, too, is they've got a largemouth bass season where we can catch and keep them all year long if you want to. Up there, you can't.
Yeah, and that is a great thing about the state of Arkansas. If you wake up in the morning, it's fishing season.
Yep. And if you were to, from the things you've done in Arkansas, what would be the first one that pops into mind, other than the one we did the other day?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, what I love to fish, all kinds of fishing, and I mean, I love to fly fish. I love to just good old, hardcore bass fishing. Anything that swims, I like to see if I can try to catch it, and it's just so exhilarating for me. It's the kind of thing you found your passion when you're laying in bed at night, or if things get slow during the day, and that's where your mind goes. You start thinking about making that cast and reeling in that fish. So that's my first go-to. But I love a good hike, and Arkansas has amazing trails to hike and enjoy at a variety of skill levels. And our state parks do an absolutely fabulous job of providing top-notch facilities for us to go and to be able to enjoy, whether it's hiking, fishing, camping, whatever, you name it. We've got over 50 state parks. And that's one of the things we like to highlight on the show as well, is a lot of places for people to go. The show was created to invite people to come outside. During COVID, a lot of people got outside for the first time or the first time in a long time. And we realized that a lot of people were intimidated about taking that step out their front door and getting into the outdoors. And so people needed to see there's a lot of fun things to do. You don't have to be exceptionally skilled. And just take a few steps out there and learn more and more and more. You'll get more and more comfortable and start enjoying the things that Arkansas really has to offer that almost no other state in the union has.
What's our break?
I keep looking. I think we got a minute and a half. Speaking of state parks, and there's been restructuring state government. Who's over all that now?
Shay Lewis is our new secretary of the whole thing. It involves parks and tourism and heritage and all of that. Yeah, and he does a fabulous job. Got a great team over there. And they really, they've got a lot to work with. It's Arkansas makes it really easy, and so they just manage it very, very well.
A lot of people, everybody listening to this probably wants to know, how do you get into something like that? We'll talk about it on the other side of the break
comes in,
on
baby.
Ray Tucker's Arkansas Outdoors. What timing?
We need those flags to pop up.
That's right, tip up flag.
Ice fishing back in a minute. When was the last time you went exploring in Arkansas? More importantly, when was the last time you went exploring the natural state on a Honda from Honda of North Little Rock? There are hundreds of miles of trails and back roads to discover. So if you have a passion for adventure, we have just the perfect Honda for you. Our new showroom is just that, as we show off Honda's best models of ATVs, motorcycles, and side-by-sides. We'll find you the perfect ride. Stop in today at Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
Pickup truck, sports car, motorcycle, minivan, townhouse, two-story, farmhouse, fixer-upper. What you drive and where you live is different for everyone, so it's important to have insurance that fits your needs and is just right for you. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that, which is why our agents help you design a comprehensive auto, home, and life insurance plan. Insurance that fits just right.
See Shelter Agent Christy Pettit in Malmö, Matt Cooper in Russellville, or Madison Buse in England.
Hi, this is Joe Klein, former Razorback and owner of Corky's Ribs and Barbecue.
And I'm Anthony Lucas, also a proud former Razorback and Corky's Barbecue regular customer.
We may represent different sports in different decades, but all generations of hogs agree.
Corky's is the only place to get the most delicious ribs and barbecue at a winning price.
So stop into Corky's now and every day for never-ending specials.
Corky's,
where the hogs come home, baby.
Corky's Ribs and Barbecue.
The name says it all, and you'll find Honda's best models at Honda of North Little Rock, as they're your one-stop destination for quality motorcycles, ATVs, and side-by-sides. If you have a passion for adventure, head on over to Honda of North Little Rock, as they cater to both thrill seekers and outdoor enthusiasts. Whether you're hitting the trails, cruising the roads, or exploring rugged terrain, we'll find the perfect ride for you. Nothing matches Honda's power, reliability, and innovation. Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters.
At Capital Technology Group, we make your technology our priority. Our team of experts can become your outsourced IT department, solving problems even before you know about them. We provide and maintain everything from servers and network infrastructure to printers and digital copiers. As a family business with over 80 years of history in Little Rock, you can trust Capital Technology Group to be your business technology partner. If you're ready to get your IT in order, visit captg.com and sign up for a free consultation.
March Mania is in full swing at Gwatney Buick GMC, and their biggest sale of the year is in a full court press. 2024 GMC Canyons discounted $5,000 off MSRP. 2025 Sierra 3/4 ton diesel Denali with $8,000 off MSRP. Call 501-945-4444. Power forward with Buick. 2025 Enclave or 2024 Envision with $5,000 discounted off MSRP. Score even bigger on 2025 Encore with an unheard of $6,000 off MSRP. New Hummers at 0%. The competition's crying foul because Gwatney Buick GMC will not be beat during March Mania. 501-945-4444. Gwatney Buick GMC, 5700 Landers Road in North Little Rock. GwatneyBuickGMC.com. GMC, we are professional grade. Some vehicles require qualifying trade-in. All offers with approved credit. Stock numbers 30810, 30614, 30318, 30605, 30465.
When was the last time you went exploring in Arkansas? More importantly, when was the last time you went exploring the natural state on a Honda from Honda of North Little Rock? There are hundreds of miles of trails and back roads to discover. So if you have a passion for adventure, we have just the perfect Honda for you. Our new showroom is just that, as we show off Honda's best models of ATVs, motorcycles, and side-by-sides. We'll find you the perfect ride. Stop in today at Honda of North Little Rock, your family fun headquarters. You might say that, Brian, that we're winging it tonight. What do you think?
There we go. We are winging it with Carlton Wing. And, one thing I was going to get to before break is that everybody wants to know, how do you get started and do a thing, pursue a passion and make it happen like that? And you told me a fascinating story on the water the other day, very inspirational. Run us back through it again the same way you did then to make it just as inspirational as it was then.
So I had been a sportscaster. That's what, when I graduated from college, that's what I wanted to do. I had done news, weather, and sports there, but I started focusing on sports because that's where my passion was. I mean, Ray, you understand all that, and so wanted to come back and be at one of the stations, and ended up getting an opportunity at KARK, and was there for 3 years, and then I got an opportunity to host the National FLW Tour show.
And you wised up.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was a huge blessing in many, many ways. It was, yeah. It really was. And so we had an opportunity to host FLW Outdoors, and we were going to take it live for the first time ever. A national fishing show was going to go live with our weigh-ins, and we were going to do a weekly 1-hour show national. And so they interviewed me on the phone. They saw some of the footage of what I had done on the air, and then they flew down from Minneapolis to come down and interview me in person. We had 3 folks there that came down to interview me, and the interview's going real well. We're just having a great time getting to know each other. And then they asked me a question. They said, "Carlton, are you a fisherman?" And I figured that was probably a very important question for the national FLW tour. Now, here's how I answered it. I just leaned in and I said, "I have fished." And that was it. And they just started laughing. They said, "Don't you worry. We will teach you everything you need to know." Because what they wanted was, I'd never done any tournament fishing or anything like that at all. I'd just done some regular old bank fishing, and that was really it. But they put me on the water with, next thing I knew, I'm on the water with George Cochran, Larry Nixon, Mike Worm. I've got Kevin Van Dam. I mean, some of the biggest names in bass fishing.
Well, you're a name dropping.
Well, and these are some of the biggest names.
They were the biggest names.
The Tiger Woods of bass fishing were teaching me how to bass fish. And what the FLW Tour wanted, and the reason why they hired me, was they wanted somebody to cover bass fishing, professional bass fishing, like a sportscaster would, not like a fisherman would. And so it's this very, very unique take in a very niche sport, provided this incredibly unique opportunity for me, and it changed my life forever. I have absolutely loved it. My golf clubs, I bring them out maybe once a year, but I've got a fishing pole in my car 24/7. And I've absolutely loved fishing ever since. I feel like I just found this whole new love in life. At that time, I was in my mid-30s. And have been so grateful ever since that that the Lord blessed me with that opportunity, and I just took it and ran with it, and have had an absolute ball ever since.
I kind of took that concept when I was at Channel 7. And I told them, it was duck season coming up. I said, "Look, I want to do a 30-minute special on duck hunting." And they said, "Have you ever duck hunted?" I said, "No."
Yeah.
I said, and I'm going to take it from that perspective, from somebody who's never hunted before.
That's right. Yeah. Well, and I tell you, and this is what makes me so passionate about the shows that we do. And I've done about 13 different series over the years. That was back in 2001 was when I started with the FLW Tour, and I've been doing fishing shows ever since. But I'm so passionate about it because a lot of adults will think, "Oh, I didn't grow up fishing. I can't do that. I don't know anything about it. I never grew up doing it." And they'll walk down the sporting goods aisle at Walmart or Bass Pro Shops, and you can get really intimidated if you do that. But as an adult convert, I can promise you, if you want to fish, you can fish. It is not as hard as it appears, and that's one of the things on our shows. We really try to emphasize, come on out and give this stuff a shot. Try it. You will like it, and then you'll just want to do more and more and more, and you'll feel more and more confident the more you do. And so we just encourage everybody, get outside, because Arkansas is a truly unique place to do this. You don't have to travel to too many other states to realize how blessed we are in Arkansas.
Again, the times of your name of your show?
Arkansas's Great Outdoors.
And it airs?
Sunday mornings here in the Little Rock Market, Sunday mornings at 7:30 on Channel 11, right before all the political shows, so you can get really, really happy before you get really, really tense. And then we're also, same time, Sunday mornings at 7:30 in Jonesboro. Fayetteville's a little bit earlier because they start local news at 6 a.m., so we're at 5:30, so you can DVR that. We're also Springfield over the weekends, and World Fishing Network's 4 times a week as well. You can look those up. But find us on Facebook, Arkansas's Great Outdoors. You will see some photos of my good friend Brian Hendricks with some of his fish. And actually,
he caught a fish.
He caught several fish. And in fact, there was one time I saw a splash that he saw, and I just pulled out my phone instinctively because I knew he was going to make the cast, and I just hit play. He made the cast. Boom, 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 wham! Slammed into about a 3.5 pounder there, and it was pretty nice.
That was pretty cool.
You never told me about all this.
Yeah.
Well, you're hearing about it now. It was really cool.
Was this going to be a Thursday column now?
No, it was pretty cool. But you talk about a guy that can fish, Carlton. It's like throwing out, catching the 8.5 pounder, handling it from the bank. It's kind of a strange. It's different, it is. Mm-hmm. When you're in a boat, you can handle a fish a little differently than you can from the bank, and the guy's just passionate about it. When you're with somebody that's totally.
Every time Carlton's on there, time flies.
We have a good time together.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I don't think you caught that, did you?
Oh, yeah.
Can't thank you enough.
Winging it.
You folks have a great week. We'll catch you next Monday.